This is our little Lamancha buckling. His name is Timmy Tiptoes. Timmy is having a bottle. A couple of interesting things about Timmy. If you look on the top of his head right there, you can see where he was disbudded. Those little marks are where his horns were.
Good boy.
And, they don't have the sensory nerves, and they're able to get burned off. And the reason we remove those is to help the health of the animal and the rest of the herd, so that the horns don't injure either the animal getting stuck in something or one of the other animals inadvertently. Another interesting thing, Lamanchas are an American breed, and you'll notice right here, these are his little gopher ears, they're called. Some people would say he doesn't have any ears, but actually his ears are just as functional as any other goat's ears, but they're more of an internal ear.
And they don't get frostbite.
No frostbite. So that's the gopher ear, the distinctive mark of the Lamancha. An interesting fact about Lamanchas are that when you tattoo goats, generally they are tattooed on the ear. Of course, you can't tattoo an internal ear, so this is where we would find this is where you would find the tattoo, right on the tail. On the inside of the tail is where you'd find the tattoo for a Lamancha buckling,
And you
or
can't tell the
doe for that matter. So that's his tail marking area.
It'll be 2 weeks and
Let's
2
lift him up
days.
for a minute. And there is his umbilical cord, what's left of it. Most of it's fallen off. He's 2 weeks today. He'll be 2 weeks on Wednesday.
And
So
2
there's his
days.
umbilical cord, and that's where God had him connected into his mama when he was in her tummy.
So he gets 2 8-ounce bottles 3 times a day.
You'll notice the arch of his neck as he's drinking. That's one of the miraculous parts about God's creation. He has a little slit in his esophagus, all the goats do, but that little slit in the esophagus, when he stretches his neck forward, is bypassed. Goats have 4 stomachs, and when he stretches his neck forward to get the milk, he bypasses the first 2 stomachs. And that's important as they're little like this, because those first 2 stomachs are they're the rumen and the reticulum, and they're primarily used in digesting the grains and the grasses that the ruminants eat. And it's not developed yet in these little guys. So when he stretches his neck forward like that, he bypasses the first 2 stomachs, and it goes right into the 3rd stomach, which is called the omasum, where it's mixed with digestive fluids. And at that point, it moves on to the true stomach, the 4th stomach, the abomasum. And now if he were to get milk in those first 2 stomachs before it was developed, he would end up getting very gassy, which can cause scours and actually can possibly lead to death. So it's a miracle of creation that he's able to stretch his neck forward and bypass those stomachs that are not quite developed enough.
Like that silly fella. Scours or diarrhea.
And so that's our little Lamancha buckling.
The first 2 stomachs make up right now about 30% of his body. When they're developed, they'll be 80%. And in those stomachs, he's already starting to nibble at hay. That's called roughage. It's almost time to start him on grain in about another week. And there are little bacteria that are in that stomach that will start eating and breaking down the hay and the grain, right?
Yeah.
And if you overfeed a goat or change his diet, add something new, he could get sick and get diarrhea from that. It's not because he's sick, it's actually because the bacteria are sick from what you're introducing to him, what you're giving to him. Right? Right, buddy? So you want to be careful when you feed something new to the goat, not to give him too much.
Good boy.
You're a very good little fella. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Good baby.